Ladies, you live longer than men do. On average, you live 6 years longer than men. So what exactly does this mean? Well, it means you have what we would call longevity risk. It means that your money is going to have to last you longer. See, it's one thing for us to help somebody plan for, say, a 20-year retirement, but helping them plan for a 26-year retirement with the same amount of resources is a very different exercise. Hello there, and welcome to this inaugural episode of the Wealth Wise Women podcast. My name is Wes Cuprill, and in today's episode, what I want to discuss is why it's crucially important every woman has a customized financial strategy that is unique to them and their situation. Now, ladies, you don't need me to tell you that you are unique from men, and your needs, especially your financial needs, are different than that of men's. Unfortunately, though, in today's day and world, I guess it isn't considered politically correct to acknowledge the differences between men and women. But when it comes to financial planning and planning for retirement, if we don't acknowledge these differences, it can have drastic consequences in the long term. So today, what I want to do is walk through 3 ways in particular women are different from men that necessitate the need for women to have a customized financial strategy. And the first way in which women are different from men is the fact that, ladies, you live longer than men do. On average, you live 6 years longer than men. So what exactly does this mean? Well, it means you have what we would call longevity risk. It means that your money is going to have to last you longer. See, it's one thing for us to help somebody plan for, say, a 20-year retirement, but helping them plan for a 26-year retirement with the same amount of resources is a very different exercise. On top of that, this longevity risk is part of the reason why the average age of widowhood is only 59 years old. I was shocked when I first heard this number because I thought, man, that is very, very young. Not only is it young, 59 is still within that accumulation phase of life. Many people who are 59 are still working and earning incomes. So the loss of a spouse during this time can have drastic consequences on the income of the household. This longevity is also why 80% of men will die married, but 80% of women will die single. So given all of these various factors that go into this longevity risk, you need to have a plan in place that accounts for that. It accounts for the possibility of the loss of income at some point. It needs to account for the possibility that you might be alone later on in life. So do you have care in place accordingly? So on top of longevity risk, the second reason why women need a customized financial strategy is because of what we would call economic discrepancies. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics of these economic discrepancies or discuss why they exist. I simply want to acknowledge that they do and discuss why they impact financial planning for women. The first economic discrepancy is around child and parental care. Now, I'm not really going to touch on child care, but I do want to touch on parental care because it often happens for those who are in or nearing retirement. And for those who take time off of work to help care for an ailing parent, that burden falls on women more often than it does men, 56% to 44%. So what exactly does this mean financially? Well, first of all, it means time spent away from work to care for somebody else. So this can come with an opportunity cost, meaning lost wages. And then on top of that, it can mean money spent caring for this ailing parent. So money out of your pocket. The second economic discrepancy that affects women more than men is healthcare costs. Women are going to spend about 18% more on non-pregnancy related healthcare costs than men will. And that's about $15 billion each year. On top of that, the cost of long-term care continues to increase at a higher and higher rate. And in fact, this year, the average cost of a single room in a nursing home is about $115,000 a year. So if you go back to my discussion about longevity risk, the likelihood that women will end up in a long-term care facility is very high, certainly higher than that of men. So given these much higher healthcare costs, you need to have a plan in place that accounts for the fact that healthcare is going to be a very large component of your expenses in retirement. And the third economic discrepancy is the fact that on average, women do earn less than men. So it means you have fewer resources to allocate towards retirement planning. So all of these economic discrepancies make financial planning for women much more complicated than it does for men. The last reason why we think women are different from men that necessitates the need for customized financial planning is the fact that, ladies, you view money differently than men do. You value it differently. And I think this is highlighted most by the answer that we get to a question that we ask our clients. And that question is this: what does a fully funded retirement mean to you? One in which you run zero risk of ever outliving your money. Obviously, this is hypothetical, but I think it is very, very important because of the answers that we get from our clients. It really helps us to determine how to build a plan for them. When we ask this question of men, we'll get answers like it means we get to pay down our debts. It means we get to buy a new house. It means we get to take vacations every year. And there's nothing wrong with these answers. They're just simply goal-based. I can assign a monetary value to each of them. So I can say, okay, here's how much money you have. Here's how much money you can then spend on those goals. But when we ask this question of women, we'll get answers like, it means I won't be a burden on my children. It means financial freedom. It means that I'll have the time to do all of the things that I've always wanted to do. And while intangible, what I love about these answers is that they are values-based. It highlights the fact that the meaning of money really runs deeper for women than it sometimes does for men. So when it comes to planning for women, you need a financial plan that accounts for your values. Like I said, it's one thing for me to run through the exercise of saying, here's how much money you're going to have in retirement, so here's how much money you can spend each year. That's very easy. But it's another thing for me to really understand what it is that money means to you, what it is that you truly want from your retirement, more than just the things. What is it that you want your retirement to meet at a values level, and build that into the plan and create a truly holistic plan that enables you to have a fulfilling, rewarding retirement. Ladies, the financial future for you is looking incredibly bright. In fact, over the next several years, by 2030, women are set to inherit about $30 trillion. There are more and more opportunities that women have. Women continue to find themselves more and more in positions of purchasing power, especially within their own families. So it's very, very important for us as financial advisors to ensure that we help you keep the financial future for women looking incredibly bright. But we can only do that through helping every woman put together a customized financial plan that is unique to them and their situation. That is why we created what's called our Empower planning system. We really dive deep to understand what it is that money means to you and really understand what is it that you truly want from your retirement. And then we build your retirement plan around that. Like I said, it's one thing for me to run the numbers and say you're going to have this much in retirement. But ultimately, I think what everybody wants is an answer to this question. And that question is, will I be okay? And it's my job to ensure that the financial plan we put in place for you enables us to answer that question with an emphatic yes. Because ultimately, everybody just wants to make sure that they have a fulfilling, rewarding retirement in which they run very, very little risk of outliving their money. So if at any point you'd like to discuss with us how our Empower planning system works and how it might be able to benefit you, go to visitwithmc.com to book a day and time that works best for you on my calendar. I would love to walk you through our system and discuss how it might be a fit for you. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this inaugural episode, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you. Take care.